Jay, I was scrolling TikTok the other day and I saw a couple of videos that were made in response to the Georgia mass shooting that just occurred. And their question ultimately was, why do parents keep sending their kids to school when we understand that in today's times, schools being shot up is a very real threat? So what do you think about that?
You know, it's people say that. I think back to the bus boycott of the civil rights era, and what I think about when I think about those things is that it was a good amount of people working together. America can't achieve what this gentleman was talking about unless it's a good amount of people willing to work together. And I get the frustration. I'm a parent. I don't want to have to actually send my kid to school. But for years and decades, they've set up a system because I don't believe in school the way other people believe in school, right? I think that in this country, anyway, I don't know about no other country, but once the kids get out of middle school, they should be really like high school should be college. And college should be when they're like, okay, I'm mastering this craft that I chose to pick when I was in high school. That's me, right? But so with the way it's set up now, it's pretty much used to see where the kid going to be at in the beginning of their adult life. Meaning not even from a financial perspective, but from social perspective. You know what I'm saying? So if this is the popular kid on campus at the school, and he or she has a lot of friends and she's social and blah 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 blah, then that's how people shape. And even guidance counselors trying to shape kids and push kids in this direction. That's why they have superlatives, right? Oh, you're most likely to be best dressed, or this and all that other stuff. Um, they're just doubling down on the things that the kids learned in middle school with the math, more algebra, more this, more stories, okay, in language, more history. You know, just adding more stuff is not really helping them in that space. So it's the social aspect that's really taking them to another level, and them being able to take leadership initiatives and things like that. But for the most part, the educational part to me isn't going anywhere. But it's set up in a sense where what are you going to do socially in this country if your kid is in the house? Because after that, the social aspect, everything costs. And if it's true that most Americans don't have $500 or $1,000 saved, and then how many people are going through hell in the summertime and they can't afford to give $200 a week to a summer camp, so their kids have to stay home. Even looking at myself, a minority in this country, my kids don't have this issue, but minority kids, and it was written in the great Malcolm Gladwell's book, where you're sitting back, the kids first grade start saying, it could be black kid, Hispanic kid, whatever, white kid, and because by fifth grade they're separated because of the summer activities. Well, those are activities that cost. And so for a kid to have activities outside of school, they cost, right? So it's going to have to be a effort where everybody works together to say, we're going to be together, where we're going to make sure not only are the kids educated, they're also going to get that social activity. They're going to get their, some kids are not having food unless they go to school, right? That's why parents are sending their kids to school. This is real life. In the inner city, certain kids aren't having food unless they go to school. That's why I, myself, my company, we participate and we feed kids now. We participated in feeding kids over the weekend because it's a real thing. And so they're going to say, we're going to feed the kids, not just ours, the ones in the community, to make sure that that food insecurity scenario is taken care of. Then like I said, the social aspect of the situation is taken care of. When we were growing up, we can go to what's called the recreation at the gym afterwards, and it was free. Any gym that my kids go to, I pay for. Now, I don't have a free gym for them to go to. And so we have to have those discussions. I go back to the Montgomery bus boycott because people had to walk, but they wasn't walking by themselves. They were walking together. if people needed rides or needed extra money or anything like that, people band together for it to happen. And I used the bus boycott not just because of the working together portion, it's because it was a small amount of people. And sometimes that works. We can't do a full stop country-wise, but if 100 motherfuckers in one community is mad, then raise up and do it and show the example. We can't do the lip service. Go ahead and do it in y'all community and say, this is what we're doing. We'll show y'all how to do it. And it's not something that's going to happen tomorrow, but it can happen over the next 6 years. Because this didn't happen like this. This started happening with Columbine, which was 25 years ago. It got to this point. And so to fix it, it's not going to be overnight. But if one brave community started doing this and wasn't willing to, didn't hide it, showed it, and to went and said, we're going to teach other communities how to do it, then I can see it won't take 25 years. It'll take half or maybe a quarter of that for it to start hitting where it hurts. The Montgomery bus boycott went over for more than a year. So that was a commitment that people took to say, we're not going to do something. We're going to help our brother. We're going to help our sister. We're going to make sure that you don't lose your job. If you do lose your job, we're going to kick in. We're going to feed you. We're going to do whatever needs to be done. That has to be what's going to happen. I am totally for it. But I want to inject some truth to the situation and what's going to happen. And I don't know if we're willing to do it like that. I know I don't have people in my community that I'm talking to that's willing to do it. So I'm still trying to figure it out. Because, I even told my daughter, I said, hey, you're knocking it out the park in school. Are you open to getting out faster? You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, I'm open to that. So I got a son coming behind her, and he's doing well in school. I'll be open to him getting out of school faster. That's right now what I have on the plate and on the table. But I am open to other things. You know what I mean? So we have to figure that out, but it's not something that one family and even one community is going to solve. We all have to work together. It can start there. But in order to actually see the change that the gentleman, wants to see, we're going to have to let it spread, and it's going to take a few years for that to happen.